Have you ever wondered why some of the most advanced technologies in Europe are quietly built by people who grew up thousands of miles away? Not in Berlin, not in Paris, not in London, but in cities like Bangalore, Shanghai, and Manila. Imagine walking into a cutting-edge research lab in Germany. Engineers are discussing artificial intelligence systems that will power the next generation of electric vehicles. The conversation is in English, but the accents tell a deeper story. Indian, Chinese, Vietnamese, and suddenly a strange question appears. How did some of the world's most technologically advanced countries begin relying on engineers from the other side of the planet? Think about that for a moment, because the answer reveals something most people in the West rarely see. A quiet global shift happening inside laboratories, tech startups, and engineering departments across Europe, a shift that is slowly reshaping the future of innovation itself. And once you notice it, you start seeing it everywhere. On a cold winter morning in Munich, Germany, a young engineer named Arjun walks through the glass doors of an automotive research center. Inside, dozens of engineers are already at work. Massive digital screens glow with 3D engine models. Simulation data scrolls across monitors. This is where Europe designs the future of transportation, electric vehicles, autonomous driving systems, advanced battery technologies. But here's something that might surprise you. Arjun didn't grow up anywhere near Munich. He grew up in a crowded neighborhood in Bangalore, India. And today, he is one of thousands of Asian engineers quietly powering Europe's innovation economy. But his story isn't unique. In fact, it's part of a much bigger pattern. A pattern that began forming decades ago, and is now accelerating faster than ever. Because behind Europe's reputation for engineering excellence lies a growing problem few people talk about openly. A problem that governments, universities, and corporations are all trying to solve. A shortage of engineers, and that shortage is changing the global balance of talent. To understand why this matters, we need to step back and look at something deeper. Demographics. Across Europe, populations are aging. Birth rates have been declining for decades, and that means something simple but powerful. Fewer young people are entering the workforce each year. Now imagine this happening at the same time that technology is advancing faster than ever before. Artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, cybersecurity, space technology, each of these fields requires thousands of highly trained engineers. But here's the problem. Europe simply isn't producing enough of them. In fact, the European Union has warned that by the end of this decade, the continent could face a shortage of millions of technology specialists. Think about that. Millions. And when industries face shortages like that, they have two options. Train more people, or bring talent from somewhere else. But something interesting happened when companies started looking around the world. They discovered that the largest pool of engineering talent wasn't in Europe at all. It was in Asia. And that realization changed everything. Every year, universities in countries like India and China graduate enormous numbers of engineers. In India alone, roughly 2.5 million engineering students graduate every single year. Let that number sink in. That's more engineers entering the workforce annually than most European countries produce in an entire decade. And many of them are exceptionally skilled. Trained in mathematics, programming, robotics, and advanced engineering. So when European companies began struggling to fill positions, the solution became obvious. Look east. And slowly, quietly, something remarkable began happening. Young engineers from Asia started arriving in Europe. Some came as students. Others arrived through specialized work visas. Many were recruited directly by multinational companies. By the early 2020s, the numbers had become impossible to ignore. One immigration program in particular revealed just how significant the shift had become. The European Union's blue card visa system, and the data behind it tells an extraordinary story. The EU blue card is designed specifically for highly skilled workers, scientists, engineers, technology specialists. In other words, the people who build the modern world. And in recent years, one nationality has dominated these visas: India. In 2023 alone, roughly 24% of all EU blue cards were issued to Indian citizens. That's nearly 1 out of every 4. Chinese engineers were also among the largest groups receiving these visas. And when you look deeper into the numbers, another pattern emerges. Most of these visas were issued by a single country, Germany. In fact, Germany alone issues more than 70% of all EU blue cards. Why? Because German industry desperately needs engineers. Automotive companies, robotics firms, aerospace manufacturers, software companies, they all face the same challenge. Too many open positions, and not enough local talent to fill them. So quietly, year after year, thousands of engineers arrive from Asia, not with headlines, not with political speeches, but with laptops, code, and engineering expertise. And slowly, they begin shaping the technologies Europe depends on. But immigration is only part of the story, because some European companies discovered another way to access Asian engineering talent. Instead of bringing engineers to Europe, they brought the work to Asia. In cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Shenzhen, European companies began opening research centers. These weren't small outsourcing offices. They were full-scale engineering laboratories, designing automotive electronics, developing telecommunications networks, building artificial intelligence systems. At one point, analysts estimated that hundreds of foreign R&D centers operated in India alone, many owned by European companies. Why would companies do this? The answer comes down to two powerful forces: talent and cost. Asian engineering talent is abundant, and in many cases, significantly less expensive than in Western Europe. That combination created something irresistible for global corporations: a massive, skilled workforce ready to innovate. And soon, collaboration between Europe and Asia became deeply embedded in the global tech ecosystem. But there was another reason this relationship kept growing, and it had everything to do with the future of technology, because the industries driving the modern economy are incredibly hungry for engineering talent. Take artificial intelligence, or cybersecurity, or electric vehicles. Each of these fields requires highly specialized knowledge: machine learning experts, software architects, electrical engineers. And across Europe, companies are struggling to hire enough of them. Recent surveys revealed something astonishing. Nearly 75% of European employers report difficulty finding IT specialists. 3 out of 4 companies. Imagine running a technology company where most of the jobs you need to fill simply don't have enough candidates. That's the reality many European firms face today. And the situation isn't limited to software. Automotive companies searching for battery engineers, aerospace companies hiring avionics specialists, robotics firms needing AI programmers. The demand stretches across entire industries, and when demand rises that quickly, the global talent market becomes incredibly competitive, which means the search for engineers doesn't stop at national borders. It spreads across continents, and increasingly, it leads to Asia. But here's where the story becomes even more interesting, because the relationship between Europe and Asian engineers isn't just about filling vacancies. It's also about shaping the future of innovation. Consider the development of 5G and future 6G networks. Telecommunications companies across Europe rely on global teams of engineers working across time zones. Some in Stockholm, others in Bangalore, others in Shanghai, working together to design the infrastructure of the digital world. Or think about the electric vehicles currently transforming Europe's automotive industry. Battery systems, power electronics, and software integration often involve multinational teams of engineers collaborating across continents. The result is something new, innovation that isn't limited to one country, but shared between many, a quiet global partnership. Yet despite this collaboration, the reliance on international talent sometimes sparks uncomfortable debates. Questions about immigration, questions about wages, questions about national competitiveness. And those debates are becoming louder, because the deeper people look into Europe's engineering workforce, the more global it appears. In many European technology companies today, English has quietly become the working language. Not German, not French, not Swedish, English. Why? Because engineering teams increasingly include people from many different countries: an Indian software developer, a Chinese AI specialist, a Romanian robotics engineer, a German mechanical designer, all collaborating in the same project. This diversity has transformed how innovation happens. Ideas move faster, perspectives multiply, problems are solved from different angles. But it also reveals something profound about the modern economy. Talent has become global, and countries that want to stay competitive must compete for that talent. Which explains why European governments have begun changing immigration policies, lowering visa salary thresholds, launching international recruitment campaigns, even advertising abroad. Germany, for example, launched a campaign called "Make It in Germany." The message was simple: if you're a skilled engineer, Europe needs you. But behind this invitation lies a deeper question. What happens if the flow of talent ever slows down? Because while Asian engineers help fill critical gaps, Europe is also trying to solve the problem at home. Universities are expanding STEM programs. Governments are investing billions in digital education. Campaigns encourage young people to study engineering and technology. But these efforts take time. Years, sometimes decades. And in the meantime, industries cannot simply pause innovation. Cars must still be built. Software must still be written. Satellites must still be launched. So companies continue hiring wherever the talent exists. And very often, that talent comes from Asia. But something else is quietly changing as well. Technology itself. Artificial intelligence, automation, advanced design software. Some experts believe these tools could eventually reduce the number of engineers needed. Others argue the opposite, that new technologies will require even more specialized talent. If that's true, then the global competition for engineers may only intensify, and the quiet partnership between Europe and Asia may grow even deeper. But this raises a final, fascinating question. What does this mean for the future of innovation? And who will shape it? Because when you step back and look at the bigger picture, something extraordinary becomes clear. The technologies shaping the future of Europe are no longer built by one nation alone. They are built by networks of talent stretching across continents. A German car designed with Indian software. A Swedish telecom system powered by engineers in Bangalore. A European AI startup hiring developers from across Asia. The borders of innovation have become blurred. And in this new world, success doesn't depend only on natural resources or geography. It depends on people, on knowledge, on talent, which means the countries that thrive in the future may not be the ones with the largest populations, but the ones able to attract the brightest minds, wherever they come from. But the story of Europe and Asian engineers is far from over, because behind the statistics and immigration policies lies something even more powerful: the human journey of thousands of individuals who left home, crossed continents, and quietly became part of Europe's technological future. And their stories reveal a side of globalization most people rarely see, one that may change how we think about talent, opportunity, and the future of work. And that's where our story continues. Take Arjun again, walking into the lab on a rainy Monday morning. Sometimes I wonder, he tells a colleague softly, am I part of Europe now, or just visiting? Think about that for a moment. What does it mean to belong, in a world where your labor travels continents before your body does? The truth is, Europe quietly relies on engineers like Arjun, not just to fill jobs, but to drive the engines of its future. And yet, very few people notice. This dependency is invisible to the casual observer. No headlines, no fanfare, just quietly humming servers, glowing monitors, and solutions to problems that could not be solved otherwise. Across the continent, similar stories unfold every day. In Stockholm, Sweden, a startup building AI-powered healthcare solutions is desperate for machine learning specialists. Out of 20 roles, 15 are filled by engineers from India and China. Managers admit the local talent pool isn't sufficient, and even when domestic graduates exist, they often move quickly to other opportunities or different countries. It's not just a numbers game. Cultural adaptability, English proficiency, and specialized skills make Asian engineers particularly valuable. Companies pay salaries higher than local averages to secure the right talent. And here lies an uncomfortable truth. While Europe celebrates innovation and technological progress, its engine increasingly runs on skills sourced thousands of kilometers away. Germany alone issued 56,000 blue cards in 2024, a staggering 72% of the EU total. Indian engineers led the pack, followed by Chinese engineers. In parallel, Eastern European countries like Poland and Hungary lagged far behind. This uneven distribution reveals how policy, openness, and economic need shape migration flows. Meanwhile, some countries worry about integration. How will cultural differences affect teamwork? Will local graduates feel overshadowed? Will wages stagnate or rise disproportionately? These questions aren't hypothetical. They shape hiring policies, urban planning, and even immigration reforms across Europe. At TT Electronics R&D Center in Bangalore, engineers work on automotive components destined for European cars. Here, hundreds of kilometers from the factories, the future of mobility takes shape. The manager, a quiet German engineer named Klaus, reflects, "We could never hire this many people locally. India gives us both numbers and expertise." And yet, Klaus admits the company faces challenges. Time zone coordination, cultural differences, and language barriers all require careful management. It's a delicate balance, a global orchestra where every player must perform flawlessly or the system falters. But this story isn't only about numbers or logistics, it's deeply human. Consider Annika, a Chinese software engineer working in Berlin. She moved for the promise of opportunity, leaving family and friends behind. "I miss home every day," she says. "But here, I can work on projects I never dreamed of in China." Her words highlight a paradox. Europe gains talent, but this comes with personal sacrifice. Engineers adapt, compromise, and navigate cultures, often becoming bridges between nations. And yet, for the societies they serve, much of this work goes unnoticed. The European Union faces a demographic crisis. Birth rates decline. STEM enrollment slows. By 2030, it's projected that Europe will be short millions of ICT specialists. Meanwhile, Asian countries graduate millions of engineers each year. India produces 2.5 million annually. China, nearly as many. This isn't just a statistic, it's the foundation of a quiet dependency. Europe's industrial future, its digital infrastructure, and even its ability to compete in global technology markets, increasingly depend on this human flow. It's silent, subtle, and global, and sometimes, it challenges the very notion of national innovation. Yet, Europe isn't passive. Policies evolve. Campaigns like Make It in Germany actively recruit non-European talent. Visas become more flexible. Recognition of foreign credentials improves. Universities expand STEM programs. Women in engineering campaigns encourage broader domestic participation. AI and automation promise to ease shortages. But none of these measures can replace the thousands of engineers already here, or the billions in work done remotely across Asia. The dependency is quiet, but it is real. In Switzerland, India-born engineers make up a significant portion of the tech workforce. Norway, the Netherlands, and the UK show similar trends. Yet, each country handles integration differently. Language requirements, cultural adaptation, and visa restrictions all shape how effectively talent contributes. In Germany, companies often require German fluency for certain roles. In Nordic countries, English suffices. And in startups, flexibility reigns. This complexity means that Europe's reliance on Asian engineers isn't uniform. It is nuanced, country-specific, and continuously evolving. Consider the story of Marelli, an Italian automotive supplier. They opened an R&D center in Bangalore to advance electronics and propulsion systems. European engineers oversee projects. Indian engineers execute them. The result? Faster innovation at lower costs, with expertise flowing in both directions. Yet, the model has consequences. European engineers sometimes feel displaced. Companies must balance local employment obligations with the benefits of global talent. It's a delicate equilibrium between economic necessity and societal expectations.
Now zoom out. Step back from individual engineers, R&D centers, and visa programs. Europe's reliance on Asian engineers is a reflection of larger forces: demographics, economics, education, globalization, and it raises a profound question. Can Europe continue to innovate independently, or will it always need this silent partnership? This dependency isn't just about filling gaps. It shapes Europe's industrial strategy, its labor markets, and even its cultural identity. Yet, there's a deeper layer. These engineers are more than numbers. They are humans navigating displacement, adaptation, ambition, and identity. They bring cultures together, inspire innovation, and quietly shape societies. Every line of code, every CAD drawing, every AI algorithm carries not just technical skill, but personal sacrifice, ambition, and resilience. Europe gains their expertise, but humanity too. And that quiet human story is perhaps the most remarkable of all. Sometimes the greatest strength of a nation isn't loud speeches or political posturing. It's in the quiet consistency of people showing up, contributing, and building the future, often far from home. Asian engineers in Europe are proof of that. They are the invisible architects of modern European innovation, the quiet force behind laboratories, factories, and startups. And their impact will echo for decades. If this story moved you, even a little, tell me in the comments which engineer's journey resonated most with you. Do you know someone quietly shaping the world far from home? Share this video to help others see the hidden hands behind Europe's innovation, because sometimes the most important stories aren't the loudest. They're the quiet ones that change everything.